this video, we are going to take a look at a challenge I set for myself. The challenge was to see how I could compete in a weekend Wordscapes tournament without playing any levels. This might seem like a crazy challenge, but it's not as difficult as you might think it is. Here is how I did it. During the week prior to the tournament, I completed the wildlife animal activities for all of the animals that give you star points during a tournament. For example, there are 12 animals that give you star points: the savanna hare, wolf, tamarin, warthog, puma, hyena, leopard, meerkat, tiger, capybara, lion, and giraffe. Do you see how I have the option of collecting the gems for the wolf here? Instead of collecting that reward, we are just going to switch to another wildlife animal and save that reward. We can do that for all 12 animals during the week before the tournament. That way, when the tournament starts, you can then go through and redeem all the points from each of the animals at the beginning of the tournament. In this case, I am simply switching the animal to the tamarin monkey and let it complete its activity. Some of the wildlife animals require 8 hours to complete their activities, so make sure you allow enough time during the week for this. So here, we are just seeing the process of me going through and completing all the activities for all the animals during the week. This is the tedious part of the process. But the excitement comes at the beginning of the tournament when you can collect all the rewards for your patience during the week. This may take some sacrifice on your part during the week, because you may not be able to earn as many heart gems as you normally do. But in this case, I just wanted the challenge of seeing how I might be able to compete with other players in the tournament without completing any levels. So you can see the downside of this approach is that it requires a little bit of forethought throughout the week prior to the tournament. In fact, you might even want to create a list somewhere and make a note of which animals you have gone through and completed the activities. You can see where I'm forgetting, and I have to go through and reopen the animals and check that I have completed their activity for the week. Not a big deal, but will just remove some of the hassle involved in the process. This is another important part of the planning process. You can see that I am going through and almost completing a level. Just before the tournament begins, you can solve all the words in a level except for the last one. Just save that single word for when the tournament actually begins. And once you choose your starting time, you can simply fill in the last word for that puzzle, and your tournament will start. And you will get a single star point for solving that puzzle. You must do this to start the tournament. So, technically, I did complete a level during the tournament, but I just got a single point from doing so. I don't complete any other levels during the weekend. I only use the points that I get from completing animal activities to get the star points. You can see that I start the tournament on level 100,109, and I quickly rocket up the leaderboard using just my animal star points. At this point, everyone is probably wondering how I got almost 500 points so quickly. I am sure some think I am cheating, of course. Then during the tournament, just keep completing activities with the animals that give you the most star points and collect them during the tournament. If you really want to plan ahead before you do this, just make sure that none of your animals will need to sleep during the weekend and that they are on their first activity. This will allow you to get the most points for your animals. So, I ended up getting 13th place for the weekend and scoring 1,445 points. Not a bad showing for the weekend, especially considering that I didn't even have to solve any puzzles. The only thing you really need to do to maximize your points is to maybe set some timers to remind you to check on your animals every couple of hours, and when you go to bed at night, just make sure you use an animal with an 8-hour activity, unless you don't sleep longer than a couple of hours at night. I hope you learned something or at least found this entertaining. Wishing you lots of crowns and rockets this week. Good luck.